So a quick tour of my patio, and it's what time is it? It's 8:30 in the morning. So this day hasn't decided what it's going to do yet. And I was out here last night till fairly late, repotting and reorganising. So there's a lot here. So let me show you what's been going on. I've just started feeding with a seaweed feed and some fish blood and bone. And here we've got some tomatoes, and if I come around here you can just see a juicy, that's a marmande I think, tomato hanging there. These haven't really started yet. They've been suffering a little bit because they're in pots, and I don't normally grow like this. I usually grow in pots in the ground in horse manure, and I didn't have any horse manure, so I'm having to do whatever I can with compost. And it's not even my compost either, it's just shop bought stuff. So there's a basil nestling there. Now here I've got 3 cabbages, and it's a bit wishful thinking to think that they're all going to bulk up because they're so close together, cabbages. I should really have put one in a pot there. But I've got this onion hanging out, and there's a reason for the onion. I discovered early in the season, if I put an onion in a pot, the squirrels leave it alone, which is great. And here are some runner beans. They're looking a bit yellow here, so I've started feeding again these with seaweed solution, and these are already coming on. They're nice and green, and you can see some flowers. Now I've got about 3 varieties in here. This is a variety called Painted Lady, that beautiful little pink flower, and these are more common or garden green beans. They're both beans but slightly different. And I think this one here, which isn't yet, oh no, I think that flower's already gone, sorry. There is another one here which is a purple bean, which I can't find the flower of yet. They are quite late fruiting. And in the middle here you've got a sweet pea just for decoration, which I think I'm going to lift out of the centre of that pot and probably put something else in. Here I've got a cucumber, and this isn't really firmly secured, so it might be okay. I'm going to see what happens with that. And it's just starting to flower, you can see there. And again, I've got the obligatory, I think that's a leek or 2 in that pot. Here I've got some beans. These are short French beans, just bush beans, and you can see a bean coming. So, and again I'm feeding with all sorts. We've got a big tomato in the middle, this is a big pot, and I've got some beetroot in the bottom and the obligatory onion. This pot has only 1 cabbage in and some lettuce around it. I'm into planting just to make use of the space, because 1 pot doesn't need a whole cabbage, so I'm just putting in little lettuces around. And here we have more beetroot, because I do love beetroot. I'm not expecting them to get too big in a small pot like that, maybe golf ball size if we're lucky. And here's some kale. I keep snipping it, you can probably see I keep snipping it for salad leaves. I take beetroot leaves off as well. Here we've got beetroot, and this is white beetroot, so there's 2 different varieties there. This is a spinach with an onion in there for obvious reasons. And down here I've got a Japanese green. It's frilly, I can't remember, ruby red streaks I think that is under here. And more tomatoes. That they're going to need some kind of bigger area really. I haven't really got room to grow them all. More basil. Oh, I forgot the fennel. Look at this beauty. Here's fennel growing. Probably again too many in a pot, but bulbing up nicely. Really looking good. So here, I can't remember where I got this from, but it was a piece of mint. I can't remember where I got it from. And notice that I've got the wood chip on top of these, and the reason for that is that it really absolutely stops the soil drying out, so you can keep your plants, really well supplied with moisture, which is really fantastic. Down here we've got more. This is actually a turnip, but it's not going to do anything. You can see what the turnip looks like. It's just a long streak, looks like a root, but it isn't. We've got some ruby red streaks there, some more Japanese greens, some frilly lettuce, some more kale lettuce, and here we've got parsley. I think that's chard. This looks like a loofah. This is a loofah. I've just potted that on yesterday, just to see if it will come up any better. And this is a really suffering courgette that I put in a much bigger mushroom punnet, see if it would grow on. So I did quite a lot of work yesterday. On this row, we've got more tomatoes. These are all newly potted on. Tomato here, and you can see it's really desperate for food. So once they go yellow like that, they really need food. So I've potted that on. I've given it some fish blood and bone. It's got some eggshells in the top there. All of my tomato plants have got eggshells in, which is calcium to stop blossom end rot. Seems to work. Then I've got a chilli here, some more parsley, another chilli. This is tarragon. I've never grown tarragon before. I absolutely love it. I'm told it needs full draining soil and full sun, and you need to bring it in winter. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Gorgeous. And then more basil and more tomatoes. This long thing here, these are turnips. You can just about see a little turnip coming up there. I suspect, that's a Japanese green. I think there's only one turnip in there. And then the rest you've got this red lettuce and other kinds of salad greens, and some more beetroot. And see over the top of that you've got the red lettuce, salad greens again. Up here is just my nursery at the moment. I mean, the whole area was a nursery a few months ago. So I've got, these are actually Brussels sprouts, but they really suffered, so I've had to repot them. This is some kind of, I can't remember, it might be a hollyhock, I can't remember what that is, but sage, don't know what that is, looks like a cucumber, so does that. These are more red peppers, rosemary, basil, and some leeks here. So here's my potting table on my patio. These are some celeriac a friend gave me, and here I've got beetroot just starting to poke their heads above the soil, and I'm trying to transplant them into here. It's just started raining, and these are some leeks, bulbs, interesting, different to your standard leek. Beetroot and lettuce. This is my lemon tree I grew from seed, an organic lemon seed. Hasn't fruited at all yet. I probably need to prune it a bit. Here's a box of squashes and pumpkins and paddy pans that desperately need to go somewhere, but they can't go here, there's no space. And more tomatoes. These are looking a bit sorry for themselves. You've got chives in this one, and you've got garlic chives in that one, and this is comfrey, and this in the middle here, this is a greengage tree that I got from my sister's garden. I just picked a greengage and put them in there, and this is a peppermint plant. I don't know what this little flower is. It's probably healthy and herbal in some way. So when I'm looking at my peas, I just bunged them in this pot really close together. There must be probably 20-30 plants in there, and I've just been watering them as best I could. Really, they should have been in a much bigger pot, and trying to feed them. But you can see these are actually pod peas, but you can see they're coming up. I've had a few of these already, and they taste gorgeous, like mange tout, but I can leave them for peas, so they're doing really well. I'm just going to keep watering and feeding those. It's a shame. I would never normally feed plants as I'm growing. I usually put all the nutrients they need in the soil to start with, and then, you just give them water and they do their own thing. But in pots, I'm realising, because I've never grown so much in pots before, that you do absolutely need to feed the plant, or they will not get what they need. These are blueberry bushes and they're hardly doing anything, but I did notice the other day we've got something here. I've got 4 of them down here, definitely not got enough space, but you can just see here, there they are, just starting to go. Not last year these plants were laden with berries, but this year there's hardly anything. And then I've got my comfrey, and in this area this is a red currant, rosemary, lemon balm, which I've absolutely picked every morning for breakfast. I think this is feverfew, it smells and tastes like it. More berries. These are more berries growing in amongst this wild rose that was here when I moved in, and the wild rose has done a really good job of camouflaging the red berries so that the birds don't eat them. And then these 2 drawers that I set up probably about 2 months ago, lined with compost bags, and in the one this is all beetroot, and here we have carrots and lettuce. Now there is more, there's all the way along here, and I won't go outside and show you, but there's potatoes, there's courgettes, there's a patio squash, 2 really good looking leeks, kale, beetroot that has gone to seed, I can see. Oh, let me see, that has gone to seed. Hold on a moment. Ah, interesting. So the beetroot has gone to seed. There we go. So I've got some new seed for next year. I'm going to leave that to grow. I'm going to harvest these leaves for a salad today. And there's some crispy salad leaves and kale. We've got the leeks, the patipan, the obligatory onion just in front here, courgette, potatoes, and then the same here, more kale, strawberries. I had a lot of little strawberries off here. I'm not quite sure what that is growing there. And some more sweet peas, which are pretty, but they're not really happy there. And I think that's it really for now. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour of the garden. You can see what it is. It's a small patio. I haven't had a salad from a shop for at least 3 months. I just pick all the leaves I know can be picked, such as parsley, kale, beetroot, spinach, bit of lettuce, Japanese greens, red lettuce, frilly lettuce, frilly mustard, and various herbs that I know I can put in a salad, including basil, mint sometimes. So I hope you've enjoyed that.